Yo, everybody, welcome back. I hope wherever you are, whenever this is, you're having a good day out there. And if it's not that great, hopefully watching this will make it a little better for you. But, I'm in a good mood today. It's a good day. We've got beautiful natural sunlight to shoot with right now and in the mood to open some cards. So back into good old March of the Machine Aftermath. It does look like gum, you guys. It looks like gum. Give me a second here. I'll show you something. Here's your normal set booster box, right? March of the Machine. And then here's our little guy. He's just a little guy right there. He's just a cute little guy, this little box. He's just a little cubelet hanging out, doing his thing, but just wanted to show you there's some. So, and this, I mean, it looks like a thing of like fancy gum. This is what rich people eat as gum. But anyhow, I hope this isn't too hype for you. I like to do these low-key videos now. Seem to find a good response. That's my niche. Low effort, no editing, sensual whispering. Oh yeah, get close to that microphone. You'll hear it. I know the packs get loud sometimes, but that's what you get. Anyhow, we're gonna open some more March of the Machine. Might as well, This is just, we're gonna just mark our moment in history. Not all the sets are good. And as someone who used to play back in the early days, I can tell you, Magic has its fair share of bad sets, but it's all right. It's all right. Still like opening the cards. There are some thought-provoking cards, I guess, to put it in a nice way. Like, I can see some kind of build around me, brew around me, but I think not to steal the thunder of some of my favorite content creators, but the guys over at MTG Goldfish put it, if you want your fifth worst Orzhov commander, it's in this set. So, not the best ever, but away we go. We're going to still crack some packs. These go pretty quickly. And then we'll crack a couple collectors, Nissa and Karn is who we're looking for. I'm really interested to see if Nissa makes a dent. And with new, bigger standard, I'm really interested to see if we get an elf deck, So we'll fly through these. Blot out Undercity Upheaval. I don't think there's like any uncommons even cracking $1 in this. Open the Way. Rocco Street Shuff, and our little showcase card there, another little uncommon. So pretty normal pack there to open at first. These are so interesting. They're so small, but they're just bite-sized little packs. I don't think I'll be following up ordering more. I mean, usually I order a case or so of each product or two and then open it, and then I usually kind of restock based on what I've opened and move some cards around. I'm hesitant to reorder more of this set, and the reason why at this point is I don't want to end up influencing. Oh, there's both versions of Tazri, so there's a showcase. I mean, they're not bad. Gosh, the camera just does not want to focus lately, guys. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what the deal is. Let me adjust it real quick. I don't know why. Did I damage my camera's lens? There we go. I don't know what's up with that, but much better, right? Anyhow, I don't necessarily want to send Wizards the information that this is the product we want. And so oh man, but then it get right out of focus. Let's see if the old finger trick did it last time. I almost tried to touch the lens and it adjusted there. Not good. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why it's having such trouble reading the card. I mean, that's a little better at 0.7. There we go. Well, we'll do that. Anyways, so, I mean, I'm not usually one to open a product and just be upset. I mean, I like cracking packs. I love Magic. It's been a lifelong passion of mine. And I'm always interested to see what comes out new. And again, especially when it's something different, it's so hard to tell. I mean, oftentimes in the history of Magic, the worst thing ever turns out to be pretty good in hindsight. Spark Rupture, Copper Cove Vanguard. So I always try to have a healthy amount of how do I feel, but that's not long term. You know what I mean? Like, nobody can tell you what the future's going to bring, especially not in Magic. Another Rebuild the City. Boy, we're really not even finding any mythics here, which is all the value. I mean, the big cards we're looking for is Nissa and Karn. Ob Nixilis is the other big one. Training Grounds, Tyvar, Sarkin, So we'll see what we get. There are some beautiful showcases in this set, and oh, there's our first mythic. Little Nahiri showing up. Not too great, but not bad. She's all right. She's a couple bucks right now. A little foil. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I'm not totally upset. I think this is interesting. I don't think inherently micro sets are bad for the future of the game. I think with a 3-year standard, ooh, Narset, have not opened her yet. Very nice. Filter out and Feast of the Victorious Dead. I think with a longer standard, a couple releases a year, like I don't think every product should have a micro set. I don't think that's good. But I think with a longer standard, if Wizards goes back to experimenting, like maybe we get a block, maybe it goes big, small, and then the next set's big, and then the next set's big, and then we get a micro after it. It does allow them to target the format and add some supplemental product to balance the game. I think a good example would be elves. There's been an interesting elf in so many sets. I mean, all the way back to Kaldheim, but like elves really have not been able to make a dent in standard. And I mean, it's like a non-existent archetype in things like modern where they used to be played. Nashi, start rare there. Beautiful campus renovation. 2 foils in that pack. You know, something like elves, like does having a Nissa here, a few good elves in Dominaria United, a couple elves here and there end up being something where there can be an elf deck with another couple sets down the line with longer standard. I think that's a way that things that aren't necessarily all in one set, and I think that's another thing, like themes in standard have trouble becoming full decks. Like, you know, let's go back a few years. I used to just crush the ladder in Arena, playing the blue-green like Merfolk deck in the sort of like Ixalan Dominaria era of cards. And I loved that deck. A little Sigarda, very cool. Urborg Scavengers, very nice little rare there. Love these happy little guys. Scooping up the little Elesh Norn bits. But, you know, it was really cards from both of those sets and a few of the other blocks that really helped that whole deck come together. Not to mention Jade Light Ranger is busted. Gosh, I hope Jade Light Ranger comes back. I miss that card. It's so good. Little Undercity upheaval. Boy, this box has been pretty lame so far. Like, I'm looking at maybe $5 for these 2 cards. I'm like a bunch of bulk. So far, this box is like a complete whiff. Showing us kind of what the basement is on this product. But something to consider. Arnie, Metal Brow there. There's a showcase foil Arnie. You know, I think things like Elvish Tribes, or imagine if they were able to put in a micro set right now, Celestial Purge, that M10 color hate card. I know they don't do color hosers anymore, but just hypothetically, a permanent that costs white and 1 that can exile target red or black permanent would be fantastic right now, and could possibly be the thing that gives other colors and other color combinations parity against the meta. And if that was oppressive enough, it might help with the Fable of the Mirrorbreaker and Sheoldred's dominance on the format. I mean, they're just choking the format. And putting some pressure on those cards might help make it so that red-black is not so ubiquitous, because we've been in a while that, like, Black X mid-range has just been standard for, gosh, like, since Capenna, right? Like, Dominaria United, Reckoner Bankbuster, our Connoisseur, like, it's, ooh, there we go, Ob Nixilis in the showcase, very nice, very nice. You know, so I don't want to send Wizards the message that this is the product we want specifically, but I'm not against the concept of a micro set. I still am confused with, I guess, the long-term strategy on product placement. Like, this product's not draftable. There we go, Niv Mizzet. Ooh, foil Nissa. Very nice there. And a retro frame Animus. So a little couple, I guess all of our hits were towards the bottom. I think that's just something that's going to be interesting to consider, is like, what assessment does this set make? Because, you know, if this comes out and is just like, hey, this is Fallen Empires, like this set is true garbage. And we've heard a lot. I mean, believe me, since it was warm weather last year, you know, we had Commander Legend Baldur Gate, and then we went into Double Masters. And boy, if it wasn't for Double Masters last summer, it would have been disastrous. They would have seen Capenna as the worst thing that ever happened. Ooh, foil Sarkhan too. So we're pulling some foil mythics there. Pretty wild. As well as, you know, some of those rough things. But you look at, like, I mean, I thought Dominaria United was an amazing product to open. It was a little overloaded, and Sheoldred just being so good, like, crushed the prices to oblivion. Oh, nice. Vesuvian Drifter. She's actually Vesuvian Drifter. She's actually worth a little pocket change there. Another double foil pack. That's so funky. There, basically four uncommons and a rare, and 2 are in foil. But again, this set's so small, and there's so many variants that even with a small amount and opening a small amount and not having great reasons to open it, these prices aren't high. And there's also not cards that immediately impact standards. So when the prices are low, like, why does a customer buy this? You can't draft it. It doesn't add, you know, say that next great card that is going to take like a tier 2 deck in a modern or a standard or a pioneer format up a tier. It doesn't have a card that suddenly sideboards in and lowers the power on something. So it's kind of like, in that sense, how does this product fit in? I get it from a lore sense. And when they first marketed it, it was like, okay, here's kind of your coda to the Avengers Endgame sort of big finale you're doing with the plot. But it's weird because, you know, we look at these great sets with all these cool color-coded boxes with the Magic side, and it doesn't feel, oh, Tranquil Frillback there, little double. Man, lots of duplicates too. Weird collation in this product, but again, when it's small and you only have so many slots, I guess that's what they do. But I mean, I'm on the side that Operation Booster Fun has gone a little out of control, but I will take another Obnix list though. Man, all the arts on these look so good. What a dope little Obnix. Yeah, so anyways, I mean, this is a complicated product to assess, a little Ragavan token. Because it's just like, is it just going to be a flop? And they instantly retract and say, look, microset, bad move, don't do it. The audience doesn't want it. I don't think that's necessarily the right message for them to take away either. I think they need to assess strategically, what is the reason for me as a customer? Because I'm not the customer they should base this on. I'm the customer who's like, I'm gonna blindly order a case until you drive this game into the ground because I love Magic, and long term I like opening packs, and I see potential in reselling booster packs many years down the road, booster boxes. But I think back to who I was in my teens and my 20s, and for me to buy packs or buy boxes, I was either playing with my friends or cracking a box to have fun, and the product was good. It justified it. And like, this would be a product that I would probably in younger years have, if I bought this and this is what I was like, oh man, I got my paycheck on Friday, I'm gonna go down and buy 2 of these, I would have probably gone home, opened this and been like, Magic's bad. And that's a bummer. Oh, Kiora, another mythic, and a couple foils there. You know, and you don't want that, because I will say there were times that, like in high school, you know, I kind of fell off of Magic. Girls, driving, skateboards, all of that stuff. That's what I was doing with my time instead of playing Magic as much. And then, you know, I was working a job. It's like just out of school, and I had a little spare change. Let's go buy a booster pack randomly at 7-Eleven. I don't know for any of you who remember like the 2003, 2004 days, when you could go buy a random booster pack at 7-Eleven, but you could, and I randomly bought some Mirrodin, and I got home and like I opened Skull Clamp and Broodstar, and I was like, oh my god, are Magic cards just insanely better? Like, is the game just busted? But it was good enough that the cards got me excited, and it was like rediscovering the game in my 20s that got me really, really hooked for the rest of my life. You know, it went from a childhood thing to like meeting friends and being their friends for a decade. And, you know, shout out to some of my boys out there. I've been in their wedding and I've seen their children grow up, because really Magic being like one of the things we shared and loved. And I guess it's something I shift to, in that, yes, I have a vested interest. I want to see the game continue for the personal investment I've made in it, but also knowing that people can discover or rediscover this game and get excited, and that the fact that one thing Magic has always done well is that if you check out, it's exciting when you check back in. If you're someone like me, and I'm in my late 30s now, there have been a couple times in my life where I've checked out of Magic, whether it's just hobby or moving or girlfriend or whatever, and you have stuff going on, and then you come back around and you get curious and you're like, what's going on with Magic? And you see something that says, you get that little FOMO bug and you're like, hey, let me get back into Magic. And you start picking it up again. And there's so much great content and a community around the game that, they got to have that. And I just feel like if someone were to check in right now, boy, they're going to see a lot of negativity. And they're going to I think it's going to be overwhelming in a bad way. I mean, there's how many secret layers a quarter. There's how many this, that, and the other. Little foil Urborg Scavengers. Rebuild the City. Beautiful full art Spark Rupture. Check that out. That looks amazing. I don't know about Spark Rupture as a card, but that's beautiful art. Reminds me of Drew Tucker art. But, that's just me kind of waxing old man tears up thinking about Cloud, I guess. But, I always think for Wizards, that's like one thing that I want them to see, of like, how do they love the game and make sure that there's love in there, and I was talking to people today. It's really interesting. I work with a lot of much younger colleagues, and, to just meet some of them who are just like, Magic. Here's what's interesting about Magic, right? Here's what our rares do. We're just going to go one by one, another stack of nothing burgers. That most people are aware of what Magic the Gathering is. Like, they don't know how to play it, but like when you say like Magic cards, like people, 30 years into this thing, people know what Magic cards are. They've met someone who's into them, or seen them, or heard of them, or know that's like a nerd thing, or a Yu-Gi-Oh card, or a Pokemon card. It's not a foreign concept. But what I'm noticing more and more is people are like, oh, but like you play that, you talk about that. Like, it is still super niche. And, with all the content today and the audience and the hobbies, like you look at some of the moves Dungeons and Dragons make. Oh, beautiful foil Rebuild the City. That is the second one of those I've opened in Halo foil, actually, but beautiful card. Weird collation to get two of the same Halo foil rare. And a little Rocco, etched Rocco's Modern Life. That, yeah, like how, because like, for example, talking to some of my colleagues and them being open to doing fun things and being like, oh, we should play Magic. Like, I wouldn't bring them anywhere near this. It just wouldn't make any sense to them. I'm probably going to bring in a product like Game Night, or just a couple Pauper decks to just get them aware of Magic. And if they were more into it and wanted to know, I mean, if someone asked my advice right now and they're like buying packs or singles and getting into Magic, out of the last 4 or 5 products that Wizards has released, this is the one I wouldn't recommend. Dominaria United, Brothers War, All Will Be One, March of the Machine itself are all good products. I mean, depending on what someone's interested in, there's something there for them. And that, oh, beautiful. Foil Karn. Very nice foil Karn. Look at that. I really hope the quality of this video isn't terrible, you guys. I'm so sorry if it is, with the camera not focusing, but she's a beaut. Look at that. Whew. So, in any case, that's just some musings from my end of someone who cares about the game and hopes, ooh, beautiful Halo foil Niv Mizzet in that showcase. That's a sick one. Look at that. That's great. And an Etch Mythic. Boy, that was the pack, huh? That was the pack that did it all. I always feel like that. In a good collector's booster box, there's that one pack that just goes real hard. It pops off harder than it has any business to pop off. And really, it just gets you with that extreme jolt of FOMO adrenaline of like, oh, that's why I'm cracking these. There's got to be one more. There's got to be a better one out there, Arnie, Spark Rupture. Ooh, another Niv Mizzet. Not a Halo that time, but a Showcase. We're going to have so many of those. And an Etched Nahiri. Not bad. We like Nahiri. And Etched. Etched is so interesting. Sometimes I think it's such an ugly treatment. It's so underwhelming. And other times I think Etched can be really beautiful. I'm starting... white cards and Orzhov cards, like white-black cards, are really starting to grow on me in the Etched treatment. The Kennerith's Royal Funeral. Man, remember when we thought this might be hype? This has commander potential, right? But like, this corner case commander potential doesn't move a product. Ooh, another double rare though. Beautiful showcase or extended art. Nahiri there. That cool little Ruptured Spark mythic, and Ob Nixilis in foil. Very, very nice there. This Capenna Deco frame looks really good in foil. And a Training Grounds Etched. So that's a nice pack there. That actually held up. So anyways, that's just me kind of waxing because there's not much to say. I mean, there's not a card in here that's like, ooh, it's going to make... I mean, other than I think Karn and Nissa, some of these are niche commanders. Like, I took a good long look at that Nahiri last night. I was just thinking to myself, like, okay, you build a super equipment-rich deck for commander, right, with her. And let's say you've got the thing where it's like first turn land Sol Ring, and second turn you play your second land and you play 2 equipments, right? And so turn 3, you know, she costs 6. She has affinity for 2 equipment. You can put a land down and you have 5 mana. And if you play unequipment, you could probably get Nahiri out with affinity 3, so for 3 mana, and pay 1 and equip an equipment and go in and attack with haste, right? Like you equip your Swiftfoot Boots. And I was like, that's cool. Like, I get that. It's like a very different approach to deck building. Another Niv Mizzet there. And a full Niv Mizzet there. And a Plarg. Plarg. Sounds like a Mario villain. I think that guy's name is Blarg. Spark Rupture. But again, look, that white in Etched looks really cool. There's like something really cool about that mirrory look and the high contrast there. Printing a highly reflective white ink on black paper is pretty interesting if you think about color theory and material theory. But you know, I thought about that and I was like, I could see how that'd be fun, but like with where commander is at these days, that's not gonna cut it. Wild art on that Copper Coat Vanguard. Look at that with the little Buster Sword breaking the frame there. What a buster. Oh man, this is kind of a dingy one. Etched foil does have this problem, as you can see there, where like the coating doesn't stick as well, but you can also see like that white to black finish. That's why I kind of like Orzhov and Etched. It's pretty dramatic. Nahiri's Resolve, nobody cares. Plarg, and a foil Tazri. Nice art, but nobody cares. And Arnie Middlebrow, nobody cares. You know, so that's just another thing. I mean, thoughts on this is like, it'll be interesting to see if like any of these cards matter, or they just fade into obscurity. There's no serials, there's no inserted chase cards, so it's really like, you know, we're just opening for fun, which you should always do. If you don't have fun opening Magic, do not open it. Put your money elsewhere or buy it and sit on it, but do not open it if you don't like it. Calix, Guided by Fate. Calix is a pretty cool little card. Some people have been talking about him, but I just don't think Enchantress will show up in Standard. But so, yeah, let's look at Calix. Let's talk about him. So green, white, 1. He's a 2/2 legendary enchantment creature, and he's a human druid. So druids doesn't have any relevance. Human, maybe. He's got Constellation, so whenever he or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Okay. When he or an enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may create a token that's a copy of a non-legendary enchantment you control. That's pretty sweet because that will cause his Constellation to trigger. So, yeah, I mean, I see some fun potential there, but it's still, I mean, when you stack him up against your other choices for green, white, Enchantress, I mean, you've got a few other tasty options. Now, here's a nice one. Tyvar the Bellicose. Whenever one or more elves you control attack, they gain Death Touch until end of turn. Not bad. And each creature you control has whenever a mana ability resolves. Like, this I could see fitting well into some Lathril decks, or possibly being an alternate commander for green-black elves alongside Lathril. It plays really aggressive, it attacks, and you can load up with mana dorks to also pump, race out more elves, and then once they all have a bunch of counters, swing in with this big army of Death Touchers. So not bad. Elf is a very relevant creature type. A nice little etched card too. That looks beautiful. It's great art for that. But all in all, you can see that, like, again, if that's the card you want of this, just go buy the single Tyvar you need for Commander. There's plenty on the market. Heck, I'll have mine for sale here shortly. And I will say, if you watch this far in my video or watch any of my videos, if you ever see me open a card you like, leave a message. I would love to sell it to you, sign it, whatever you want. I'll cut you a great deal. I don't sell too many cards direct these days, but you know, if it's for someone who watched a video, it'd be my pleasure. Sigarda, very cool. I mean, I think this is an awesome card. Other permanents have hexproof. Whenever you cast an angel or a human, she fits in great in an angel deck. Nahiri is resolved and etched and elemental. So as we wrap up, I guess it's to say, even though you can see me really questioning the placement of this product, and I don't think it's in the long-term best interest, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, you got Lord of the Rings and Commander Masters showing up. This will be this year's Commander Baldur's Gate as we move into the big deals of the summer, which is weird that Wizards positions their big hot cards in the summer. I guess they figured that their Black Friday Christmas retail window is so strong with people buying products as gifts. What they should do is put the products out that will FOMO people in the summer, take that money off the table, and then let them just recover whatever gift money they can get by people buying other product. Another training grounds, very nice. Oh, nice little rare Joriel and etched though. That Joriel's hot. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful etched. Oh, that's a Halo deification in the extended art with that cool, like, hollow black frame. It's actually pretty beautiful. Anyhow, just some musings here as we open a set that, like, I wish I had more to say, but this set, I'm not particularly like, oh, look at the theme, look at this mechanic. You know, when we were opening one a couple months ago, it was so cool because it's like, wow, this is really shaking up. And even then, it didn't really dent standard. As much as I thought, you know, Skrell's Hive and Skrell would just take over and be this new, like, white beatdown deck. Oh, nice little Halo foil blot out. Halo foil is a beautiful technique. Oh, and there's an etched blot out. So for you connoisseurs at home, some very different radical. I mean, there's Project Booster Fun for you. This is the same card. We're in this era of Magic where there's this card with this art and crazy Halo foiling, and then there's this one in etched foil. And these are just both some chaff uncommon. Like, this will never matter. So Project Booster Fun. I hope you had fun because it won't matter. There we go. There, a nice retro frame Joriel. The old gold frame in foil looks beautiful. This cool little marbling and Pia Noir. So there we are. Thanks for joining me as always. But the big thing I'll say is, you know, we don't lose hope. I love this game. It's changed my life. And man, when the mood strikes, there's nothing better than, like, I get the itch, I sit down and open some cards, and here's a bunch of mythics. I don't know if this, you know, gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So about $7 a box. This will nowhere near cover the cost, even though the prices on these are going down by the day. But not a total loss. The point is, we got things to look forward to. I love Magic. It's great to think about. It's great to talk about, and it's great to share with you guys. I hope you're having a great night out there. Peace.